This was a fantastic scene because it is one of the best acted scenes in the entire show. Like, it's up there with Klaus Mikaelson's trial scene. It is that good. Like, I would have had this on par with Klaus's trial scene and also on par with Klaus confronting Rebecca and Elijah in the 8th episode of season 1. But the reason why I can't have it ranked as high as that is because in those scenes, the characters make sense. I don't entirely hate a specific character. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate Hayley like I hate Malivore. But in this scene, every single point that Hayley made was terrible. With Klaus's trial scene, both sides make sense with their arguments. Marcel never really used an argument in which he knows that he's going to come off worse in it. And in season 1 episode 8, when Klaus confronted both Elijah and Rebecca, Rebecca had only one response, and it makes sense for her to make that response. In fact, it was a really good response, because historically, Klaus is the reason why Rebecca and Elijah were pushed away from him. They don't just abandon him, he pushes them away. Those make sense, the arguments make sense. However, not a single one of Hayley's argument in this scene make any sense. All of it was so easily counterable that the only way that Klaus lost was solely because Klaus stopped arguing because he understood that Hayley was never going to back down. Hayley was far too gone to be reasoned with. So he backed down. Like I said in multiple Klaus videos, Klaus was experiencing character growth. He understood that yes, of course, I want Hayley on my side, and the only way I could actually win this argument is by not winning the argument. Because if I win, I lose her completely. And I'm never going to win anyways, because even if I argue with a lot of reason, and even if all those reasons counter every single point that she has, she's too stubborn to allow herself to lose. Ever. So that's the only way that Hayley won. If Klaus would have continued arguing, then Hayley would have easily lost her argument, because every single point that she had, Klaus immediately and very easily countered it, and countered it perfectly.
Do you have any idea what you have taken from me?
The very thing you sought to take from me, the chance to raise our daughter. Your punishment fits your crime.
See? Swift response and the perfect response. They both did the exact same thing. A lot of people keep forgetting that Hayley didn't just want to hide from Dahlia. Hayley wanted to run away completely even after Dahlia is defeated. Hayley just wanted to go completely and leave the Mikaelsons, leave Klaus, leave Elijah, leave everyone behind. But for some reason, when Klaus does the same thing at a lesser degree, that is a problem. Did Klaus put a curse on them for punishment? Yes. Did he have to do it? Also yes. If he didn't, then they would have been dead. Dahlia would have found them, killed Hayley, killed Jackson, killed the rest of the pack, and take Hope very easily. Do you want to know why we know this? Because Dahlia has said that she was going to do that to Hayley and to Klaus. And Hayley wasn't expecting that comeback, so she started scrambling for a comeback of her own.
Your family was ruining her life.
My family saved her life while you were off playing hide and seek in the forest.
Yet another quick and perfect response. The people that Hayley was entrusting Hope's safety to didn't do anything with regards to the fight against Dahlia. None of them even landed a hit against her. The people that did defeat Dahlia were the Mikaelsons. The Mikaelsons that were spearheaded by Klaus. It was Klaus's plan that ended with Dahlia dying. Yes, of course, Klaus would have had an easier time in doing that if he had trusted Freya a lot earlier than he actually did. However, that is in hindsight, as in after everything had already happened. During the time in which Klaus made the decision in which not to trust Freya, he had a reason to, which is that Freya nearly got Hope killed. And he doesn't know Freya all too well to entrust the safety of his child in her hands. Yes, Klaus had known that Freya wasn't a key ingredient to defeat Dahlia, and it was actually Esther, not her, hence why he immediately killed Michael. But he can't tell any of his allies because all of them are compromised. The only powerful ally that he could tell is Freya, who he wouldn't fully trust because he doesn't particularly know her that well. And again, Freya was the reason why Finn was able to find Hope, which would have led to Hope's death if Elijah wasn't there. And if you notice, after seeing how hard Freya fought to defeat Dahlia, Klaus stopped doubting Freya. In fact, they became ridiculously close, almost as close as he was with Elijah. In fact, I could say that he was closer to Freya than he was to Elijah. But he needed proof in believing that Freya could be trusted in helping to protect Hope. But when she could be trusted, he let her in. And that's how they won. Not because the werewolves helped, not because they did anything, but because Klaus was allowed to do exactly what he wanted to do. So once he can confirm that Freya could be trusted, they joined forces to defeat Dahlia, and Freya was the only person that stayed by Klaus's side after the whole events. So the Mikaelsons saved Hope, not Hayley, and definitely not her useless pack, who who immediately got wiped out very easily by Klaus on his own. And if Klaus wasn't there, then all of them would be dead. And yet again, once Hayley heard Klaus's response, she scrambled to make her own response, and this time she didn't respond directly to Klaus's point, she immediately deflected.
There's a very short list of people who've tried to take hope away from me, and you're the only one left breathing.
Are you that delusional, Klaus? You cursed all of us. Every wolf that I fought for, everyone that stood up for our daughter, you took all of them away from their family.
Yes, but you aren't dead. What exactly would have been the alternative? For Klaus to turn around and punch Dahlia, and then Dahlia one-shots Klaus and then just kill the rest of you, and then take hope anyways? His exact point was, if your punishment fully fits your crime, then you would be dead. In fact, based on the way that Hayley describes Klaus, then Klaus would have killed Hayley just for doing exactly what she did. But she isn't dead, which means that Klaus didn't want her to die even after everything that Hayley did. Like I said, again, was it punishment? Yes. Did he have to do it? Also yes. If he didn't, they would be dead. And if Klaus was being Klaus, he would have killed them himself. The only person that he really did dirty with regards to his plan to take down Dahlia was Elijah when he killed Gia. He didn't have to do that. That is the only thing that he didn't have to do, but he did it anyways for the sole purpose of punishing Elijah. With regards to Hayley, he had to do that.
Yes, your precious pack. That family you chose over us. And in doing so, you chose over hope.
Is that what you're planning on telling her when she got older and asked for me? That I abandoned her?
Strawman argument. In fact, that argument doesn't even make any sense. You were with Hope when you got cursed. What Klaus said was that Hayley picks the pack, her pack, over Hope. It's not that she abandoned Hope, she just put the pack first, before Hope. Because the whole plan of running away had nothing to do with Hope's safety, because Dahlia would still be coming after them. So the reason why she ran away had nothing to do with Hope, and more so out of allegiance to the wolves, which is exactly what Klaus is getting at. Because the whole plan makes no sense from a strategic standpoint. Literally, Elijah telling Freya that Hayley was trying to hide in a bayou, Freya immediately said that's a stupid idea, because there is nowhere far enough for Dahlia to not find them. And this was before she completely ran away. So Klaus thought it was stupid, Freya thought it was stupid, and later on in season 3 of the originals, Rebecca said it was stupid, although that was more so Hex Rebecca than regular Rebecca, but still, she would very likely agree that that was stupid. If they would have asked Marcel, Marcel would have told them that was stupid. The only people that backed that plan was Elijah, who would drown in his own blood to get Hayley to smile at him, and the wolves, more specifically Jackson. Which is why Klaus knew almost immediately that when Hayley came to him about trying to hide in a bayou, he knew that Hayley was soft launching, running away completely. But Elijah didn't know that, because Elijah is completely blinded by anything with regards to Hayley. All Hayley has to do is slightly convince Elijah. No matter how big the ask is, as long as it's coming from Hayley, Elijah is almost over the edge. But he couldn't see that, so he didn't say anything. That's why Klaus immediately turned it down. Especially after Hayley never even mentioned Elijah. As in, she never said that she was gonna hide in a bayou with Elijah. That would make more sense. But Hayley wanted to run away with the werewolves. Even if Hayley was brain dead, Hayley would understand that that is a stupid idea, because Dahlia had already beaten the werewolves. And saying that the bayou is easy to hide from Dahlia, like we didn't just see Dahlia easy control Jackson, what's to stop Dahlia from controlling Jackson again, or the rest of the werewolves? She can't really control originals because they're way too powerful to be able to do that. And Dahlia would have found them very quickly. So without Klaus's intervention, they would have all been dead. So her entire argument for this entire thing makes no sense, and it ended with this.
My parents left me. Yours turned their backs on you. Look at us now, Klaus.
Niklaus!
She deserves something better than what we had. That is all I have ever wanted for her. Something better. Fight back! Fight back!
Don't get me wrong, fantastic argument, fantastic scene, but Hayley's point in this entire argument makes no sense. This final part is so confusing that I have no idea what exactly she's arguing for here. Because she's basically saying that only her word is law. If all she wanted to do was to protect her, then why did she try to run away with no backup? If she would have run away with Elijah, I might have understood, but obviously Klaus would be pissed off at it, but at least that would make sense, because that is backup, that was for the safety of Hope. But you running away with the wolves, knowing full well that Dahlia would definitely find you. Every single person that you could ask about that situation would tell you that Dahlia will find you, based on evidence of which is much more weaker than Dahlia, who were easily able to find you. They will tell you that Dahlia would have found you very easily. which she did. Yes, of course, Klaus gave his blood to her very willingly, but Darla would have got his blood anyways. So what exactly is her argument? She wasn't the only person that was trying to protect Hope the best that she can. Klaus burnt every bridge under the sun to save his child. If you ask anyone, no matter how much they hate Klaus, if they know Klaus and Hope's relationship, they would tell you that Klaus would do anything to protect Hope. Just like how Hayley claims that she would do. The problem is, both of their ideology of how to protect Hope clashed. But in the end, the person that did save Hope was Klaus, so that whole point is null and void, as we saw Hope walk out perfectly healthy and perfectly fine. Just because Klaus didn't agree with your plan doesn't mean that Klaus didn't want to save Hope, because he literally did save Hope. Without him, Hope would be taken by Darla and you would be dead, and so would Jackson and so would the rest of your pack. All of the Mikaelsons would have been defeated.